Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late November 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Virgos in late November? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo in late November. What's the vibe here for my good friends? There we go. Nice. Cool. So I like this. It's a very nurturing, loving, caring type of energy, which is great. There's a lot of spiritual protection with this card, and this is secretly one of my favorites from this deck, just because of how warm and fuzzy it makes me feel whenever it shows up. So it's kind. Even if you're going through some difficult ones or going through certain times that are a little stressful, this is really reassuring and kind. Now, before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. And while you're down there, hit that new hype button. I'm not sure what it does. I'm trying to test it this week. But enough of the promo. Let's get back to the reading and the card that we see here that I love so much. And we see this lady with the big red headdress on, and she's snuggling up to this glowing white dove. Now, in symbolism and divination, white birds and doves represent peace. They represent spirit. So I think of guides, angels, spirit team. So there is a very strong connection here. This is one of my cards, obviously, of spiritual protection, of reassurance, where someone from the spirit side could be saying, hey, Virgo, I am with you. You're not alone. I'm with you on this journey. So it's just beautifully reassuring, and I think that's nice. Now, aside from that, with the love and care, maybe this is something you're wanting to express. Maybe it's something you need, right? We're all human. Sometimes we need a hug, and I'll give you a big virtual bear hug. I always like to give you one when this card shows up. So whether it's someone you're connected to, they need a little TLC, tender love and care. Maybe you need some, right? I mean, like I said, we're all human. But I like the energy that this puts forth. It's just much more warm and fuzzy. So if you've been dealing with somebody that's been a bit of a rough one, this energy could be things starting to soften up. So we're just going to put it to the side right now. We'll let her chill. They're having a moment. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Virgo friends. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading, because I honestly really liked the energy you had last week. The reading was titled An Unexpected Win. Really nice. So I always say wins come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's business, sometimes it's personal relationships, sometimes it's health. But to me, it felt like something going better than expected, or just something going great that you weren't expecting to go too great. So I hope you had one. And this energy, it could bleed over for a couple weeks. So if you haven't, there's still some time, right? But let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else. Let's get it going here. What do we got for Virgo in late November? We're going to have a repeat. We're going to have some good energy still, hopefully. Okay. So we start with the Queen of Wands. I like her. She's very fiery, but she did pop out with a card that I think is doable. It's workable. She's a good way to start, but the 3 of Swords in the center, that's like, what are you? And they did pop out together. So we're definitely going to look into that further. Let's get one more before we make any judgments here. What do we got here for Virgo? What do we got for our good friends? King of Wands. Lots of people. Lots of people. So there's a lot of similar themes showing up here as well, especially with the King and Queen of Wands. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements first. And it must be an earth sign thing this week, because even with the Capricorn reading, there was tons of fire element, which is important. Now, fire is good. It's not always bad, right? We got the Queen of Wands, King of Wands. And the fire element to me is the realm of action. So the actions that other people take, the actions we take, Fire is the realm of vitality and energy. So maybe you're feeling a little more energetic. Maybe you're feeling a little bit down. It could go both ways on the spectrum. It's our internal combustion engine. It's powerful, it's drive, it's our willpower to make stuff happen. The downside to fire, though, is it could be explosive, right? Which is, again, what I saw in other earth signs. This energy could take a left or it could just intensify really quickly, especially since we have swords right here in the center. Swords represent air. So the realm of logic, the mind, the mindset, the mind state, a lot of strategy going on with this element, and also communication. So that's another thing I'm picking up when we have a lot of court cards and the communication element. We got the fire and the air, the little volatility. There could be a lot of chit chat or a lot of energies coming in. So let's go through and start breaking this down piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the beautiful Queen of Wands. Now, I like this. So obviously for both of these, it could be any fire sign, not gender specific. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or this could even be an energy you're stepping into. Now, queens represent the internal aspect of the suit. So we already spoke about the fire, the action, the revitalized or energetic feeling. So in her best case scenario, the Queen of Wands to me represents self-confidence, how someone feels about themselves, their like how they're feeling. So maybe you're feeling great, maybe you are feeling good, maybe you're feeling revitalized in one way or another, maybe you're feeling super confident when the Queen of Wands is here. That's really nice, but it could also swing the other way. So maybe some of you are feeling a little down, maybe you're feeling a little bit tired, maybe there's something you're not so sure about that's like throwing you off a little bit when this card is here. Now, the Queen of Wands is also tied into looks and appearances. So maybe there's something about your appearance or the way you present yourself to the world that you're changing. And that could be anything from like your hairdo, your wardrobe, your style. It could be, I'm changing my look is a thing I always pick up with her. But it's usually beautiful, confident. It's a sexy card, right? The Queen of Wands is awesome. So we'll just see. Is it the good kind of fire or is it the one that's like, I don't know about that? Because fire, it could be a bit of a live wire. So if it's someone else, I mean, moving to the middle, we do have the Three of Swords. Now, I always say about this card, it is on a spectrum, and it is a very iconic piece of imagery. I'm sure everyone has seen it a time or two, even if you're not a reader. Three swords cutting through the heart, right? Like it's on clothes and posters and keychains and all that good stuff. I say it every time because it's true. But the energy around it is a little bit difficult. So, of course, the Three of Swords could represent problems, rough situations that we definitely want to take a closer look at, but it's always on a spectrum. So it could be something very minor. So for some of you, it might just be a little nerves. Maybe you just have a couple of gloomy days. Maybe you're just feeling a little bit off. But this can also range all the way up into like someone really hurting, really going through one. So we do want to look at this much further. The good thing about the Three of Swords is that it's very temporary, okay, especially with the air element connected to it. Now, moving to the back end, we got the King of Wands, and he does have a lot of similarities to the Queen. A big difference with the King, though, they represent control of their suit. So all the stuff we were saying about the fire, the confidence, the King of Wands tries to keep that under wraps, try to keep it under control. So he could often show up when either you're doing the right thing and putting your energy where it needs to go. Sometimes he could show up when spirit's like, all right, well, maybe don't put too much energy into that. Maybe you need to switch where you're putting your attention and focus when this card is here. It's all about our focused intent and focused energy with this card. He does like to keep things under control. It's a very confident entrepreneurial type of vibe here with the King of Wands. So I usually like it, especially since I have some fire sign placements myself. But he does have some downsides too. The unpredictability, the someone where they're feeling frazzled, they're feeling a little bit scattered. It's like, there's like a super intense energy. So don't be surprised if a lot of you have like hyper intense energy in this time that might need a place to put it, right? Like a lot of internal energy where it's like, like I'm getting cabin fever here. That's like one downside of the King of Wands. But yes, he can be very unpredictable sometimes. But as I was also mentioning, when we have two court cards, a lot of chit chat, we have the three, which threes represent groups of people. There's a lot of other people showing up in the energy this week. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What do we got for Virgo, please? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Queen, see what she has. Oh, and yes, for your reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what the Queen of Wands has here. Quick, super, super quick. All right, this energy is very much amped up. So we have the Five of Wands. And that is one of the cards I always say, like, hey, you don't got to be an expert to understand what that Five of Wands means. And I think I've seen this for you maybe like as close as 2 or 3 weeks ago, where the energy to me just feels very aggressive. So again, for some of you, maybe that's an energetic buildup within you where it's like, I'm feeling all this energy. I need to put it somewhere. But there's also this, it just comes through really strong. I don't want to say overbearing, but it can be. Now, the Five of Wands, if we take the best, most silver lining type of energy with the Queen of Wands, Five of Wands, this tells me that if you are going through some situations or problems or rough spots, you have the determination, you have what it takes to get through it. So when she shows up with the Five of Wands, it's like, don't quit, keep pushing, double down on something. So I like the motivation that I'm picking up from this, which is really great. But there is also this heavy handed energy I'm picking up as well. So I guess it depends on your situation. For some of you, keep pushing, keep rocking. There's a lot of forward momentum, and Spirit doesn't want you to lose steam. But for another portion of you, watch out for any individuals that are just a little too aggressive, or like the way they speak. It's just, I don't want to say it's like talking down to somebody, but the energy, it's just really intense and heavy handed. So we're going to keep going. It's aggressive. So we're going to keep moving over to the Three of Wands. I mean, the Three of Swords, pardon me. Let's get that Five of Wands down right there. I mean, it could also be someone that you have conflicted energy about, where it's like, oh, yeah, sometimes it's great. Sometimes we're just on a completely different vibration. But let's see what the Three of Swords has. Where's the Three of Swords here? Good. Okay. All right. I think it's super important that you don't get dragged into other people's stuff in this time. So if you are having a problem or a situation with an individual, it could be because they have a lot of other stuff going on as well. I know that's a hyper specific message. I feel like I'm kind of doing it personal, but we do have the Lovers in the upright underneath the Three of Swords. Now this could range, right? As mentioned, maybe someone around you is going through problems and they're passing that energy on to you in one way or another. It's like a chain effect, because when I see the Lovers, it's not just romantic partners. There's an energetic cord between you and somebody that could be showing up with all this action going on here. Um, for some of you, if we want to get specific, Three of Swords and the Lovers, yeah, maybe there's someone you're connected to that's hurting, going through a tough one, upset. There could be a heartbreak, especially if you're watching this for romantic reasons. But for those of you not watching for romantic reasons, and maybe even for some of you as well, there's just like this outside noise, like this outside energy that I feel is like trying to pull me this way, pull me that way, pull me into this, pull me into that. So just watch out for that. Like if there are any problems or situations, I don't see you being at the core of it, but I just don't want you to get pulled into it. So yeah, this energy here on the front is a little difficult to deal with. So watch out for any individuals where they might just be a lot. Like the energy they carry, what they're going through, it might be too much for you to manage at the moment. Let's keep moving to the King of Wands. So it seems like we're getting some warnings about other people this week. So let's see why the King of Wands is here. Then we'll do our recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the King in the mix? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so it's all fire and air this week, and I just have to say, could it be a situation in and of itself? Absolutely. Just be cautious about who and what you're attaching your energy to in this time, because there is this potential for you to get pulled into stuff that doesn't revolve around you. And even if you're in hermit mode, even if you're the Virgo type, you're in hermit mode, you're just doing your own thing, staying in your own lane. There's still this energy where it's like, I'm going to reach out and grab you, Virgo. I'm going to pull you into this. So there is like this energy showing up where it's like, all right, just watch who and what you're giving your energy to this time. But yeah, the Two of Swords is a hidden, unexpected type of energy. And when I see the King of Wands, the fire, air, it's all over the place. There could be a lot of explosive situations going on around you where it's like, okay, it could go from 0 to 100. Where it's like, yeah, you might just be doing your own thing, and then this energy shows up. Hey, Virgo, you should be mad because this happened, or this energy just comes off a little too aggressive and mean and nasty, and then there's just like all these people coming into your space. Like that's the best way I could put it, which is unique. Now, for some of you, maybe there's some of these energies that you want to hear from. Maybe for some of you, I do feel there's a randomness to it as well. So if you're just in your own lane, doing your own thing, beautiful. If you're in hermit mode, doing your own thing, beautiful. But you're still going to feel an energetic tug from all of this. It's like a lot of outside noise. So watch out for any explosive situations or things that could just pop off. That's how it feels. It could just go from 0 to 100 real quick with the way the energy shows up to me. So caution, caution. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So I don't feel like it's the biggest, most treacherous type of warning, but there's some funkiness in the energy this week. There's some good stuff too. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we got the Queen of Wands and the Five of Wands in the upright. Now, for some of you, this could be spirit saying, double down, keep pushing forward. You got this. We're hyping you up now, Virgo, with this energy here, which can be good, especially if you're going through some sort of situation now. But then there's just this aggressive, heavy-handed type of energy that I'd like you to watch out for. It's just too aggressive. Then here in the center, the Three of Swords with the Lovers in the upright. We have this pull. Hey, Virgo, what do you think about this? Or, hey, Virgo, so-and-so said that. It's like I'm getting pulled into other people's stuff. Like, hey, Virgo, if you were me, what would you do? Nothing wrong with giving advice, but I just don't want you to get involved in something that doesn't originate from you. Moving to the back end, or again, it could be some heartbreak if you're dealing with some love things. Maybe you're missing someone. Maybe someone's missing you, or someone you care about's going through a tough one. But here on the back end, we have the King of Wands with the Two of Swords in the upright. Boom, explosive situation here, where it's like all the energies feeding off of each other in the spread this week. Now, in the most positive sense, could something clear out and over and done with soon? Hopefully. If you are going through things already, maybe the energy clears out quickly and explosively. But there is this energy that seems to amplify quickly. So just watch out for that. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my Virgo friends. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. Let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Virgo? What do we got for in the shadows? So more fire element is the only downside, but something I will say is you got the most positive card in the whole entire deck showing up in the shadows, which is great. So if you're connected to a Leo, have Leo placements, this is extra good. Now, the thing about the sun in the shadows is that this reveals all. So if there are certain situations where there's unknowns or pieces of information you've been wanting, when the sun shows up as the shadow card, it casts light on everything. So for a lot of you, you could have a lot of realizations and revelations in this time. A lot of information could come to the surface. The only downside I see with the sun is the intensity of the energy, especially in the shadows. You know, when you're in a dark room and someone turns the light on real quick and it's like, oh, it's like a flashbang. Watch out for stuff like that, especially with the energy we saw here. I'm not saying someone's literally going to do that to you, but it's like a quick energy shift where it just intensifies super quick. It's even showing up in the shadows. So aside from that, it's good. I mean, but there's just a lot of intensity. So we're going to put it right there, Virgo. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The November subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and you'd like to have a little chat with me, you can book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. You'll see my digital calendar is open for the month of November. They're filling up pretty quick, so if you'd like to have a chat, come over and see me. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of a lovely deck. It's fairly new. It's called Tarot of the Woodland Wardens. It has a whole bunch of fluffy critters. It's really adorable. I think everyone would like it. So if you like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, since it is November, what are you most grateful for right now? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.